Well, Jim, our next question to Tony is one about the brand new national championship that was just introduced and what the inspiration was for this championship. Let's go to this and see what you think.
Seems like an easy question to answer.
Justin Orazio with Sports Radio 94 WIP in Philadelphia. Tony, it's nice to see you again.
Hey, good to see you.
We've heard a lot from indie promoters talking about how much success they've seen from Mercedes Moné going to their promotion and winning belts there. Did that have any impact in the decision to create the AEW National Championship?
I think absolutely that is one aspect of it. And it's not just independent promotions, but also I think strong international promotions. We've had a really good year in ROH. We've done a lot of different things this year. And so far, I think the ROH pay-per-views have been great, but there's also been really good reception. I think every time we've put some of the shows on YouTube, people have really been very receptive. I know a lot of people do at times miss when we used to put up Dark and Elevation on YouTube every week. Hearing Shivani and Paul White on commentary made me miss Elevation. I don't know about any of you Elevation hardcores like me. I absolutely love those shows. So I know people love when we put wrestling shows on YouTube to begin with, but really in terms of having stories, championships, and a great group of wrestlers and some young wrestlers and some veterans, I think it's been a great year for ROH. And I thought that Supercard of Honor.
Let me stop it for a second. Was
what?
He
I don't even, again, besides the fact this is all gibberish, and it's a great year for Ring of Honor when he puts them on YouTube and all this others didn't have anything to do with the national title. And the fact that there's 18 million titles. And what does, if Mercedes is winning little indie companies' titles, what does that have to do with the national title? Is he going to put the national title on Ricochet and then send him around to Jerkwater and Mud Lick to fucking face the local champion Tits McGee? What is this rambling?
Well, again, Ring of Honor is having a great year. This somehow explains how Mercedes Moné was part of the influence in his decision to create a national championship. Back to Tony Khan.
And Death Before Dishonor have included some of the best wrestling matches. And even though I was frustrated with the circumstances that led to me making a choice in the chair of putting up Supercard of Honor on YouTube for everybody to watch, actually, there was some very good silver linings, because then I think it opened a ton of people's eyes. Like, this is an awesome pay-per-view. I like this, what Ring of Honor has been doing. These are great. And then in addition to that, I thought putting the Global War.
Let me stop for a second. Have you heard anyone, even the biggest Tony Khan defender, say that he has boosted the recognition of Ring of Honor?
No, I don't even see anything about it on Twitter anymore. Does it make any news anywhere?
For all you Elevation hardcores, no one was an Elevation hardcore. That's why the show went away. There was no one wanting to see it. Let's go back to more from Tony Khan.
Wars show up for free on YouTube was super positively received. I really loved the ROH Global Wars, in particular Global Wars Mexico. When you look at some of the matches, Bandito and Dorada, Moriarty and Blue Panther, that tag match now, and look back at that, seeing Persephone and Athena on opposite sides in that tag match, Persephone and Thunder against Athena and Red Velvet was outstanding. And now Athena versus Persephone for the
This is about how the national championship was created.
Yeah, and how, I swear to God, you tell me something ain't wrong with him. People say that I can remember everything. Ask me to goddamn list the card for Siler City, North Carolina in August 1986. I'm going to have to go to the notes. But he's just bang, 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 these obscure. How many shows and matches does he see and write and et cetera per week?
Well, he's at every show. He goes to every show. He's the only one at every show. Let's go back to Tony Khan on the inspiration for the creation of the national championship.
ROH Women's World Title. So ROH can really benefit for the first time ever. There's never been AEW sending a champion to ROH. It's never happened in the history of the promotions. So that's very exciting. I know that from talking to CMLL and New Japan, they are interested in this, especially when you consider Ricochet has wrestled for both those promotions and done very, very well, and made appearances for New Japan Pro Wrestling and CMLL, even going to wrestling on Wrestle Dynasty, going down to Arena Mexico. So certainly you couldn't have asked for, frankly, a better first champion than Ricochet. I absolutely think.
Yeah, you could have. There were several options in the match.
Well, but besides that, Brian, if he's the national champion, that means he's the champion of the whole nation. So who gives a fuck about him in Mexico or Japan or any other goddamn nation?
Well, let's go back. There's still more about... I mean, at least we got to the national championship. The idea that Ricochet may defend it like Mercedes Moné in different places around the world. I guess that's what he's saying. I don't know what Ring of Honor had to do with any of this, but let's go back to Tony Khan.
It is eye-opening to see people raving about the positive contributions of having an AEW wrestler on their shows, but it's not just any AEW wrestler. It's Mercedes Moné, the TBS champion, somebody that is one of the really recognizable stars of wrestling and somebody that is one of the top wrestlers in the world. So in this case, you have another top star, somebody who has great credentials and also is a very recognizable wrestling star, who is a very hardworking star who's traveled the world. So I do think Mercedes blazed trails in terms of probably traveling and wrestling outside AEW more than any champion ever, not necessarily always defending the TBS
This
championship.
motherfucker can make you tap out like you've been sugar-holded by a NCAA champion. Do they ever just say, okay, that answers my question?
Again, the question was about if Mercedes Moné inspired the national championship, and in his own Stengolese, we kind of got there. We have a few more seconds of this answer. Let's go back to this.
Championships and taking over promotions. So it'll be interesting to have AEW having a champion going and making defenses. And we'll see how far it goes. He may only make one, and it could end any time for Ricochet. That's what makes it very compelling and interesting. But I absolutely think Ricochet was great tonight, and he could be a great national champion. But you have to give tons and tons of credit to Mercedes, to your point, for all the different promotions and all the different championships Mercedes has gone out, and all the business, to your point, that she's done for the different promotions she's wrestled for. And I think those promoters are onto something. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, good heavens. It could end at any time for Ricochet.
Those promoters are onto something.
We can only hope. Why? You know, I was going to say if somebody would take the transcript of his media scrums and just boil the answers down to a sentence or two, then you could actually maybe understand them, and they would only take like 10 or 15 minutes total for the whole scrum. But then there really is no answer to boil down, is there?
He gave a 5-minute answer to that national championship question where he actually kind of answered it in the last 8 seconds. But it took us a long while to get there. Like, it's like an AEW show. It's like an AEW match. That's the way Tony's brain works. You'll get the finish, but you're going to be here a while, and you're going to see a lot. Maybe too much, but you'll get the finish.